Woke.
Woke.
Everything woke turns to okay?
So I did talk about the massive success of Deadpool and Wolverine last week, and already starting off to a great start at the box office. It continued to roll. I still haven't gone and seen it yet, and I'm dying from all the hits I'm getting on social media from the spoilers. It's just spoiler city, man, and I've been trying to avoid them. I've probably got most of them already spoiled for me, which kind of sucks, but I heard it's still going to be a good watch. So I will go check it out. Just hadn't gotten around to it yet. I was going to go see it last weekend. That didn't work out. And I was thinking about maybe going and seeing it this weekend, but actually this weekend, excited me and the wife are heading up to go see Nick DiPaolo. Nick DiPaolo is a comedian that I remember watching him when I was younger, back when Comedy Central actually played stand-up comedy. They had Lounge Lizards and so many other shows on there. It's where I saw Mitch Hedberg, Colin Quinn, Dave Attell, Nick DiPaolo, the incredible, what was his name? The Amazing Jonathan. Just so many great, talented comedians. And Nick was great. And he's a northern dude, New Yorker guy, I guess he is. And he actually lives in Savannah, Georgia now, which is about an hour and a half away from me. So that's pretty cool. So he's a Georgian. We accept him. We like us some Nick DiPaolo. So gonna go head up and see him this weekend. So that's what I'll be doing. If you're not familiar with Nick DiPaolo, definitely go look him up. And he does have his own show, his podcast that he does, and it is through maybe independent still. He does his own thing, but I know he is part of Mug Club, Steven Crowder's Mug Club. And if you're not part of that, you're missing out on a lot of stuff. He's got a great show over there, and just a hilarious comedian to begin with, but a good show. All in all, go check him out. Anywho, back to this one. I do have to give a shout out to Ryan Kennel of RK Outpost. He actually covered this story. I'm going to try to cover it in a slightly different way. I don't like to ever cover the same story that somebody else does the same way. If they do it first, I want to give, credit where credit is due there. But I'm going to go into a slightly different direction, kind of look at some stuff a little differently. But I do have to give a shout out to Ryan for covering this one and making me aware of it, because I had no idea. As many spoilers that were out there of this film and as much information that was out there on this film, I had no idea that the gays were upset. The alphabet mob is mad, big mad about this movie. And we're going to talk about that a little bit here and see what kind of impact that has. So with Ryan's show, I will have a link to that in the show notes below. I do recommend going and checking him out as well. Great guy, great channel. Really enjoy him. He's part of the Geeks and Gamers crew that they do so much together. Them and Nerdrotic and all those guys. I love those guys. They're awesome. I really enjoy checking those guys out. So go check out Ryan Kennel. He's awesome. He's no censor. He just rolls with it. I love it. He's awesome. But yeah, so I had no idea the alphabet mob was upset about this, but what we're going to see right here are a few headlines that cover some of the stories that are coming out of the backlash, and all the reference are going to be available down the show notes below of who wrote them. You can go read them and check them out. Make sure I'm not taking stuff out of context, but look at some of these headlines here. Gay jokes in Deadpool and Wolverine spark backlash among LGBTQ plus movie critics. Deadpool and Wolverine's constant gay jokes leaves Marvel fans completely divided. That's an interesting one to hold on to in the back of your mind as we continue on this trail. That are the fans completely divided over this? We'll see in a minute. Deadpool's obnoxious gay panic humor is a tiresome schoolyard taunt. Now, I did leave it cut that way so you can see who wrote it, because that is just the definition of masculinity right there, folks. Deadpool and Wolverine's marketing blitz is one long gay joke. They're here. Almost. They're queer. Maybe. They need a new joke. You need new writers. Deadpool and Wolverine's 5 most boring homophobic jokes. Deadpool and Wolverine's repeated frat boy gay jokes spark backlash from LGBTQ plus fans. So that's going to be the other one. So backlash from the LGBTQ plus fans, and Marvel fans completely divided. So with all that turmoil and divisiveness and anger and everything that's involved with all that, especially from the alphabet mob, I mean, I wonder how the film is ultimately doing. Oh, look at there. Hollywood Reporter, box office, Deadpool and Wolverine lands 6th biggest opening of all time with $211 million. Makes R-rated history. Interesting results from all that divisiveness of the fans and the backlash from the LGBTQ community. Let's look into this just a little bit. The Ryan Reynolds Hugh Jackman superhero pick smashed numerous records. They did. It was numerous records, both domestically and overseas, for a stunning global launch of $444.1 million. Bruh. I've got to go see this freaking movie. Wolverine was my favorite X-Men character. He was my favorite Marvel character, actually. I didn't get into Marvel with the Spider-Man and all that stuff. I got into Marvel with the X-Men, the animated series, and Wolverine, by far my favorite. Second was probably Gambit, and I know he's in this. I wish I didn't, but I know he's in this. Anyways, moving on. The Mert with the Mouth is back on the big screen, and he's a marvel. Directed by Sean Levy in close collaboration with franchise mastermind and star Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool and Wolverine opened a record-shattering $211 million at the domestic box office, laying the 6th biggest opening of all time for any film, and by far the biggest launch for an R-rated film, according to final numbers. That's up from Sunday's estimate of $205 million, which would have made it the 8th biggest opening of all time. The first Deadpool was the previous R-rated record holder at $133.7 million. The jump from $205 million to $211 million is a big one and underscores how the movie is outpacing all modeling. Put another way, Sunday traffic was far bigger than expected. Deadpool 3 also shattered records for an R-rated pick on a global scale, opening to $233.1 million internationally from 55 materials market for a worldwide start of $441.1 million, up from Sunday's estimate of $438.3 million. Among additional records domestically, the film is the top opening ever for Reynolds. Levy, is it Levy or Levi? I'm going to go with Levy. I don't know. And co-lead Hugh Jackman, and the 4th biggest superhero launch. It's also the top July opening, as well as the biggest launch since Spider-Man No Way Home in December 2021, when the Sony Marvel pick opened to $260.1 million domestically. Globally, it's also the biggest opening since No Way Home, after passing up Avatar: The Way of the Water on Sunday, and it pushed Marvel's MCU past the $30 billion mark in combined worldwide ticket sales, further solidifying it as the top grossing franchise in history. That includes movies distributed by Sony, Paramount, and Universal versus just Disney. So, yeah, it's a huge hit. Knew it was going to be a huge hit. Excited about it being a huge hit. But it's almost like the alphabet mob and the divisiveness of the fans it's almost like it had no impact on it whatsoever at all. So either it's based off of reality, what they're saying is based off of reality, and these people have no power, or it's a manufactured lie. Okay? Remember, a year or so ago, if you will, there were companies pushing the LGBTQ stuff front and forward in their stores, front and forward in their messaging, really downplaying their normal fan base, their traditional fan base or supporter base, whatever you want to call it, their customers, and really pushing hard and heavy the LGBTQ plus IA whatever alphabet stuff that's out there now. They're really pushing all that stuff hard and heavy. Well, they got a little backlash from what the media would call far-right conservatives, or just even conservatives. What's interesting to me is that you can talk to so many people that were disgusted by the direction that some of these companies were going in, and they will tell you straight up, like, I'm not a conservative. I just don't like it. But that's what's wrong with the media and these folks that are pushing all these agendas is they want to push everybody over here to this bubble and say, if you don't like this, you're far right. If you don't agree with this, you're far right. If you're not like this, you must be a conservative. That's why when you see people on the Democrat ticket that are far left, they consider them just moderate left. Moderate. And anyone who's right of far left is far right. But that's another game they play. We'll talk about that some other time. But I do remember, if you do, what happened when people pushed back. Just a couple of reminders right here. Bud Light boycott likely cost Anheuser-Busch InBev over $1 billion in lost sales. Bud Light falls to number 3 beer in U.S. following Dylan Mulvaney boycott. Of course, remember, this is all because of the Dylan Mulvaney stuff. You had the marketing exec person coming out there and saying they were trying to get away from the college frat person. They want to, expand. They want to get away from that old scene and stuff. They were the number 1 beer in the U.S. They dropped to number 3, lost over $1 billion in sales. I'd say significantly more than $1 billion. I'd have to get an updated number. I don't know how accurate that is. It does say February of this year, but I'd imagine they've probably lost more than that. And then don't forget about Target when they were pushing all that satanic stuff, that tuck stuff, the really weird stuff that they were pushing out there, not just the LGBTQ stuff, but all this other craziness that to me kind of goes along with it. But Target loses $10 billion in 10 days as stocks fall following boycott over LGBTQ friendly kids clothing. So let's say those articles are right about the LGBTQ people being upset about Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's just say that that's right. Let's just say that, I don't know, the fans were divided over the gay jokes and stuff. Let's say all that is accurate. What do these numbers show you? They have no power, right? They know how to use a keyboard. They get on X or they get on their social media and they bitch and they moan. And that's it. They're not the ones out there spending the money. It's the people that you're offending. The normal people that are tired of all this crap being pushed down our throats. We're the ones going out there to the theater. We're the ones going and shopping in your stores. We're the ones drinking your beer. But you're pushing us away to get some check marks of people who don't even spend money on your product. That's if those headlines are true. The other option is those are manufactured headlines meant to divide us even more. I believe there's probably a little bit of truth to both of them, to be honest with you. But just keep that in mind. And when they do come towards the conservative far right people, or as I like to say, normal people who are just tired of it, and they push us away, I mean, look at what happens. We don't speak with our keyboards and our mean-spirited letters and our threats and stuff like that. We actually do something. We quit shopping at your stores. We quit subscribing to your streaming services. We quit buying your beer. And we hurt you in the wallet. We hurt you in the stock market. We hurt your status as being the number 1 beer down to number 3. For those of you that don't know, that is a significant drop. I know it's just, they dropped 2 spots. No, it is a significant drop. When you think about what it takes to move from 1 to 2 or 2 to 1, it's huge. We see who's more impactful and who isn't. Despite what Kamala says, it doesn't always pay to be woke.
We have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah.
Shut up! You don't know nothing about anything.
We're going to wrap up this segment with this one right here. This is a headline. I'm not going to really go into it. Just wanted to point out this in the picture that's with it. Again, from the Hollywood Reporter, which is funny because they were some of the headlines there. condemning Wolverine and Deadpool, or at least talking about it, to be fair. This is how the summer box office went from tragic to magic. After a string of movies wildly overperformed, including the 1-2 punch of Deadpool and Wolverine and Twisters, theater owners are feeling more hopeful as a scary year-over-year revenue gap begins to close. As you see in this picture, you've got Minions, which has done very well, and all of the Minions have done well because they don't push that woke crap. You've got Bad Boys. Now, I went and saw Bad Boys. I love Bad Boys. I almost hate that I did because I think Will Smith is a trash person. And what Will Smith did on that stage to Chris Rock was a very trash move. And I don't really want to support him that much. But at the same time, I'm a filmmaker. I know there's other people that work on these projects and that are involved. And there is an art and there is a suspension of disbelief when you watch the film. And I'm able to remove some of that stuff out of my head when I watch it. So Late Night with the Devil, the lead actor, I think, is outspoken against Trump. You got Will Smith that smacked Chris Rock on stage and never truly gave a significant apology, that what I've heard. It's just been sorry stuff. But at the same time, as an artist, acknowledging, watching, and trying to enjoy other people's art, I like the film for what it was. It wasn't agenda driven. There's always racial jokes in there, which are hilarious to me. Whether it be between, black folks or a black and a white person or other multiracial folks, doesn't matter. I think it's funny because I think racism is funny in the sense that it's stupid. I think it's stupid. I've mentioned this so many times before. Racism is stupid. Have fun at making fun of it. That's all. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Of course, you got Deadpool right there with the Deadpool and Wolverine killing it at the box office. And then Inside Out 2. I saw that one too. So my little girl went and saw Minions with my folks. So I haven't seen it, unfortunately. Probably won't catch it in the theaters, but we did go see Inside Out 2, and that was an absolutely phenomenal film. I did a review on that if you're interested in checking that out, and I thought it was great. There's I guess questionableness there on maybe there was a little bit of a certain love interest or something like that, but it wasn't really presented that way. And I didn't take it that way. Some could, maybe, but that is the ambiguousness of art. That is the beauty of art. Some of it is left to our own interpretation. And far be it for me to try to pigeonhole, these artists and say this film was this or was that or can't be this or can't be that. I think they can be different things for different people. So out of these films that are shown here, I've seen half of them and enjoyed them. Thought they were fantastic. Love that there's no agenda in there. Love that they're back to making art. And hopefully they've learned from this and they make some freaking art and quit trying to push the agenda down our throat.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip from the Morning Mayhem. Remember, this is just a portion of the full show that comes out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you hadn't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the full shows or these tasty little nuggets.